I found the other cat. Not him. He never gets out of his bed. He loves it there. But that right there is Dr. Quinn. She's a medicine woman. I call her Jane because we're on that level. I don't have to call her doctor anymore. That's Jane Seymour. I stapled that carpet to the wall so that she can climb up into this little area. Now, isn't this strange? Has anybody else ever seen a house where the tops of the walls are open? I assume they're doing this for ventilation because it's a very humid environment here. And who doesn't love paneling on the ceilings? Okay? Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love wiring? There used to be a there used to be a ceiling fan there that broke, and I took it out, and the wiring for that ceiling fan jumps over here to another light that was there that also burned out. So we don't have a light in the kitchen. We just have the old range light, you know. Oh, hold on, let me. Oop. You can't really tell. They have a huge construction site happening out there. Look at how terrible that window is. I'm so embarrassed. But anyhow, let's mosey on this way. So I built this wall. Right on the other side of this part of the wall is the bathroom. And I built this wall because we were making the bathroom bigger. And I had to be careful because the return for the AC is there. But the wall for the bathroom used to start here, as you can see, and it went straight across, and it made this bathroom very small. So I moved it over that far. That should allow us to get a double sink vanity there, and that's where the toilet will be. And this is where the new shower will be, which I've also made bigger. It used to just be here, and it just had a shower in it. But I've extended it just a little bit, and it's going to extend out this way some. And I'll probably put a glass door on an angle right here. So that'll be cool. Let me go in here. This is the window that looks out onto the porch. What are you doing, Jane? You naughty cat. But yeah, the only action happening in here right now is the cat's using the bathroom in here. I still have all my tools kind of spread out all over the place. It makes me sick to look at this. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't have enough money to remodel, to finish a remodel, and you're just, I'm sure there's thousands of other people out there that are maybe, hopefully watching this, and they're like, yep, I know exactly what you're going through. It sucks. Because I started doing this almost immediately when we moved in. And the only thing that I've accomplished so far is putting up some drywall and finishing that wall, right? This got replaced almost immediately. And I think that's what I wanted to tell everybody. Like when you're negotiating how escrow is going to get divvied out, like if there's a pair repairs that need to be done, and you don't do a walkthrough with enough time to get those repairs done, you're going to be stuck with that. And our realtor, she was very savvy. She knew exactly who she was dealing with. We were first-time home buyers, and we didn't know what to do. And she didn't take us to do a walkthrough on this house until the day we signed the contract. We did an initial walkthrough when we first got here. or when we first started looking at the house, we came through and we looked at it, and then we had a whole list of repairs that needed to be done. And over, you know, over the time when when we got into the contract, we tried to uh, we tried to get everything in there. One amendment to the contract after another, right? Until we finally got to the point where we were 45 days into this contract, and the seller was dragging their feet. They he was not a stranger to real estate. The seller of this house, he has multiple properties, and he kind of knew that if he drug his feet signing the amendments, that eventually it was going to get to a point where the bank wasn't even going to entertain another amendment done to the contract because of how long it was taking to close. I don't know if that's the case truly or not. I just kind of know that's why when we did our final walkthrough, and I noticed that not even a fraction of the things that we had a concern about were addressed at all. There was broken windows. That electrical box that I pointed at, that whole thing was discontinued. You know, nothing had been repaired. There was breakers. The main breaker went out in it about a month after we got here. So that was $2,500 immediately. And the AC unit, it's just as old as the house. It's 50 years old. It's still kicking pretty good. I mean, it cools this house down, and we've luckily haven't had any issues with it. But it's going to go. When it kicks on, the lights dim. So it could be something simple to fix it, but I promise that thing ain't going to last much longer. And I don't know if you noticed, but that hot water tank, also 50 years old. Our electric bill's $400 a month. I wonder if those two things are contributing to that. I don't know. But that's a little bit of the journey that we've been on, and it's such a struggle to not only live in a house that you're trying to remodel, but remodel it on one of the lowest budgets that you can possibly do. I'm a welder by trade, and I I find it very difficult to work down here. Uh, all the employers that I've met, the employers that I've worked for, every single one of them are really only concerned with treating their employees like a slave, almost as if there is no other way to do it. I'm done with that. I'm not playing that game anymore. There's no wage. Welding it's not only hard, like it's physically taxing because you're killing yourself. You're breathing in that crap all day. You're using equipment that if you make one mistake, it could kill you. Um, you know, I haven't been offered a wage doing that compensates for the strain that it's putting on my life. Not once. Not once. I've been welding since 2000. Not the whole time, obviously, but I've probably got a good solid 8 or 9 years of experience in that field through multiple places. And the only way I think I'm going to make it as a welder is if I own my own mobile welding unit. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I would make good money down here because this place really needs welders. But they need welders because they don't get treated very good here. And it's really hard to find somebody if you know that you're going to treat them poorly, and the employee knows that they're going to get treated poorly too. So they have to play a little game between the employee and the employer. Like, okay, well, if you don't want to pay me this amount of money, then you're only going to get this much out of me. Well, that don't work. They've got 10 other people behind you that are brand new in this industry that don't care about that stuff. They'll just do whatever they're told because they know that that's what they need to do in order to make a wage that they think is great. But they think it's great because they don't have any responsibilities. They maybe don't have a family to take care of. They don't have a home that they have to pay and remodel, and they don't have time restrictions. You know what I mean? Like, if they weren't at work, what would they be doing? There's a never-ending supply of those type of folk out here, and I simply can't compete with that because I enjoy my time. I don't want to spend my time making millions of dollars for another person when I can maybe take this time and make myself a millionaire. I'm not saying that what I'm doing right now is going to make me $1 million, but I would really like to try. So I hope you guys like what you saw. And if you don't, leave me a comment. Tell me how much you don't like it. Tell me where I've messed up. Tell me what's wrong with my attitude. All right. God bless everybody. Have a good day.